Hey guys, Chelsea from Attention to Details. Today in the shop, we're going to be doing an interior detail as well as a paint enhancement on this Kia Soul. This is actually the second time that I've detailed this vehicle, but the first time that we're going to be addressing some of the issues on the exterior. Now you might be thinking, it actually looks pretty clean other than just some morning dew on it. But when the sun hits it just right, you can see we definitely need to do a polish on this paint. The automatic car wash brushes have taken quite a toll on the exterior, and the customer said, let's just go ahead and get it cleaned up, make it nice and glossy. Besides just some basic swirls, we also do have some key damage on the paint that we need to polish out. The customer also likes to smoke a pipe on the interior, so we just need to freshen up, remove all of the ash, clean our interior out. And it's not as bad as you might think. I'm going to share with you guys a tip on how to quickly clean an interior before you even break the vacuum out. One of the things that I have going for me in this detail is that the customer has invested in WeatherTech liners. We do have a lot of sand that we need to vacuum up, but the WeatherTech liners actually will make that job a whole lot easier for me. They're actually some of the best investments that you can make for your interior of your vehicle to help make it easier to maintain. But sometimes they don't clean up so easily, so I'll share with you guys some tips on how to keep your WeatherTech liners looking like new, as well as maybe how to tackle some of the sand that can just get stuck everywhere on the interior. Before we really pull out a vacuum, we're going to adjust our seats, try to very carefully remove all of our WeatherTech mats so that way we don't spill any of the contents, and then we're going to actually use a car dryer on the interior. Now, if you follow this channel for a while, you've seen me use this tool before, but for those of you that maybe you've never thought of blowing out your vehicle, it's one of the best things that you can do before you even vacuum everything out. It will speed up the vacuuming step double-fold for you. And you can see I'm just kind of pushing the dirt from one side of the vehicle to the next, working my way up to the front. We're gonna pull our seat back as far as we can and even blow out in between the seats, and I was not prepared for this. You can see our upholstery, even all of our plastics, there's a ton of ash all over the vehicle. And with our variable speed dryer, we're able to blow all of that dirt out. So that way, when it actually comes time to vacuum, you can see we've blown out 90% of the dirt. Now it's just gonna take me maybe 20 minutes to vacuum up the rest of this interior. So for those of you that maybe you're struggling with getting quick results on your interiors, try blowing it out. Even if it takes me sometimes 5 to 10 minutes to blow it out, it can shave off 20 to 30 minutes versus having to suck it up. But now that we've basically pre-cleaned our interior without even having to vacuum, we're gonna move on to the exterior, so that way we can get that kind of out of the way, because the polishing job is probably going to take up a bulk of the work for this detail. To speed up our contact wash and to make it safer, we're using Fast Foam from Angel Wax. This is a professional grade snow foam that will safely remove majority of the dirt on the surface before we come in and do our contact wash. A job like this realistically is probably going to take me about 5 hours to complete, about an hour and a half to 2 hours for the interior, and about 2.5 hours on the exterior. That includes the contact wash and the paint enhancement. We're fortunate that it's a smaller vehicle, but it is black, so you never quite fully know what you're getting yourself into when you polish a black vehicle. While we clean our tires and wheels, our soap has softened and loosened all of the dirt on the paint, so that way it will very easily be rinsed away with our high pressure rinse. For those that have never tried some of the products from Angel Wax, this is one of my favorite from them. Their compounds and polishes are probably some of the best on the market, but they're a UK-based company that make exceptional products. And now that we have rinsed off our snow foam, we're gonna go in and safely do our contact wash. This is my favorite soap to wash black vehicles. You can wash any color vehicle with this soap, but especially black paint that is just very sensitive to being scratched. This has so much lubrication within it. We're gonna use that same soapy water to help do a clay towel treatment to decontaminate the paint. When I've used this combination of soap with this clay towel, I never see marring. So for those of you that maybe you're struggling with marring with your clay towel, I encourage you guys, give this soap a try. There's so much lubrication within it. It's absolutely fantastic. Because the sun is starting to rise, we're now washing this black car in direct sunlight. So to try to avoid any sort of water spotting issues on this paint, we're going to use our Formula 4 spray wax from Superior Products. You can just spray this all over the vehicle. You don't have to rush in with your rinse, but this will help give you kind of 5 to 10 minutes to dry the vehicle without any sort of water spotting issues. You can see our paint was pretty flat before we did this. Now this protection is not any sort of long-term protection. This is basically what an automatic car wash is going to use as their final rinse of your vehicle as a drying aid. So this will just give you some temporary hydrophobics, but it also will help prevent water spotting, that even if this dries on there, it will just help remove those fresh water spots after you dry it with your towel. And as always, we're going to dry our glass first, so that way we avoid any sort of water spotting issues on our glass, and then start at the top and work our way down. But you can see our Formula 4 spray wax, it is helping to prevent any sort of water spots. Just the motion of drying the paint helps to remove any sort of fresh water spots that may have been induced. I have very hard well water here, and I find that this product helps avoid any sort of water spotting issues on my customers' vehicles. The paint looks so much glossier after just a good wash and applying our Formula 4 spray wax, but we still have quite a bit of swirls and scratches on the paint that we need to clean up. But while we have our pressure washer out and before we pull the vehicle into the garage, we're going to go ahead and deep clean our WeatherTech mats. And if you own WeatherTech mats, I highly encourage that you pick up a bottle of this as well as use a drill brush. This will help deep clean your mats and keep them looking like new from day one. Because we are doing a paint enhancement, that means we are doing one step to correct and finish down properly. We're going to use Oberk sole polish as well as a yellow foam pad. Now, I know oftentimes when you guys watch these videos, you're seeing detailers dial in paint to perfection. And while yes, that is always the goal, that's not always in the customer's budget, nor is it always the most feasible for the customer's vehicle. As you can tell, this customer does take their vehicle through the automatic car wash to wash his vehicle, and he said he's going to probably continue to do that. So there's no point in me perfecting the paint, but more than anything, he just wanted me to try to remove some of the damage from the brushes, restore gloss and shine to the paint. You can see from our before and after, before we have quite a bit of damage to the paint. Now we've removed about 40 to 50% of the defects, if not more, and you can actually see there's almost like a black cherry metallic flake in this black paint. Before, the paint was so dull and clouded with scratches that you couldn't see that. Now the customer is paying for a paint enhancement, and what we've been able to do, here's our before. You can see we have a lot of fine scratches, and there are some deeper scratches on this paint as well. With a one step, you're more than likely not going to be able to remove all of those blemishes. You can see kind of where we stopped. There's like a line of demarcation where we have a deeper gloss. You can really see that dark cherry metallic flake now within the paint. But you can just see we've been able to remove, I would say, 50 to 75% of the fine swirls and scratches on this paint with just 3 passes with a single step polish. And I think honestly, I'm happy with those results. I think the customer is going to be happy with them as well. He really was noticing more so the fine scratches on the paint, and we've been able to remove that. But we actually did switch up our polish to the gold standard polish and the gold waffle pad from DIY Detail. I found this gave me just a touch more correction than our sole polish on the side panels. So when I'm doing a paint enhancement or polish, I find that using a rinseless wash to wipe off the polish residue is going to help me be a lot more efficient. Plus, it's gentler on the paint. I'm not reintroducing scratches, wiping off any of my polish residue. And we're going to also use my pad rejuvenator, and we're going to wash my pad every section so that way I have a clean and cool pad from one section to the next. I was able to use this one pad to polish the entire vehicle. And from start to finish, it took a little under an hour for me to polish the Kia. we were able to get fantastic results with the gold standard polish, the waffle pad, wiping off our residue with the rinseless wash, and then we applied their ceramic gloss for 4 to 6 months of protection. Now for our interior, I actually don't have a lot of footage because it was pretty straightforward. After we blew everything out, all I needed to do was clean my plastics with Express Interior Cleaner, our leather with Superior Products Leather Cleaner, and then we wiped off all of the kind of smoke film with our Hydra rinseless wash. It's one of my favorite glass cleaners. You barely need a couple drops of Hydra in a bottle of water and you have streak-free glass. But here's the end result of our full detail plus paint enhancement on our Kia Soul. Sometimes people think they have to do multiple steps of correction to their vehicle in order to get decent results, but you can see with just one step, we were able to bring back so much clarity and reflection and gloss to our paint, and we weren't super aggressive on the clear coat in the process. Gloss is off the charts with this paint. And on the interior, you can see very simple chemicals and tools to be able to get deep cleaning results. The blower did a bulk of the work for me. The rest was just kind of dialing in our plastics and leather and glass with specific cleaners. And you can see our vehicle looks better than new. Hopefully you enjoyed this transformation detail. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But make sure you subscribe and we will see you guys in the very next detail.